On July 20th, Typhoon Wifa, the sixth typhoon of the year, struck Hong Kong, Macau, and the coastal areas of Zhuhai to Zhangjiang in Guangdong, bringing winds reaching up to level 13 to 14. The storm's ferocious winds howled through the streets, snapping trees in half and uprooting others. The gusts between towering buildings sounded like alarms, making it nearly impossible for pedestrians to move forward, with some even knocked over. Heavy rainfall flooded the streets, transforming them into rushing rivers. The city's drainage system quickly collapsed, bringing traffic to a standstill and leaving behind widespread damage across the affected areas. Both Hong Kong Observatory and the Macau Geophysical and Meteorological Bureau issued the highest level Typhoon number 10 signal. Hong Kong also issued a top-level alert, suspending school and ferry services, while flights were cancelled. Around 10 a.m. on July 20th, a dramatic moment unfolded in Kennedy Town, Hong Kong. The three-story tourist ship Hai Long Pearl suddenly had its mooring ropes snap. Tossed by the waves, the ship drifted away. Dock workers, including Mr. Zhang, were shaken as they tried to manage the situation. He recalled the terrifying moment with lingering fear. In a video, the once stable ship was tossed helplessly by the fierce wind and waves, with tourists and crew likely facing unprecedented fear and panic. Ultimately, the ship collided with a China merchant dock, leaving a large hole in the hull. Thankfully, no one was injured. A commentator joked, "It looks like the ship treated the dock like a bumper car arena." The crew rushed to evacuate the passengers. According to witnesses, the waves were high enough to hit the windows of the third floor. Onlookers along the shore were stunned. Some filmed the incident, commenting, "It was 3 stories high and just floated away." The winds were so powerful that even massive objects were helpless. Some online comments sarcastically suggested, "Maybe we should give Hai Long Pearl the Best Bumper Car of the Year award." Besides the shipwreck, other areas in Hong Kong were also severely affected. In Victoria Harbor, the high winds and rough seas battered the shore, making it difficult for pedestrians to move. Outdoor items were tossed by the wind, and trees swayed heavily. Several streets saw fallen trees and branches, with almost no vehicles or pedestrians in sight. Advertisements rolled across the streets, and scaffolding on Hong Kong skyscrapers was knocked down. On the morning of July 20th, due to the typhoon, scaffolding on several buildings in Hong Kong was blown over. A video posted on social media showed scaffolding falling from a skyscraper in North Point, crushing cars below. People in the comments pointed out the immense power of the typhoon. In North Point, the canopy at the Tien Bao building collapsed, blocking 4 lanes of traffic. Authorities responded quickly to the scene. The canopy stretched more than 100 meters long and stood nearly 20 meters tall.
The typhoon has landed, and I'm still standing under a bridge. The wind is coming from all directions.
In response to the typhoon, all schools in Hong Kong were closed, ferry terminals shut down, and the Hong Kong Airport Authority canceled about 500 flights, affecting roughly 80,000 passengers. Public transportation, including outdoor sections of the MTR, the Disney Line, the Airport Express, light rail, and MTR buses, were suspended. High-speed train services between Hong Kong's West Kowloon Station and mainland China were cancelled, with only limited service remaining. By noon, as the eye of the typhoon passed south of Hong Kong, sustained wind speeds reached 140 kilometers per hour. Around 240 people sought refuge in temporary shelters, and more than 350 trees were uprooted. By 3 p.m. on July 20th, the Hong Kong Observatory reported that Wifa was moving away from the area and the winds began to weaken. However, southeast winds, still at hurricane strength, continue to affect the southwestern region of Hong Kong. Now, let's turn to the situation as the typhoon made landfall on the mainland. A video shows a dramatic first-person view of Wifa's arrival, like something out of a doomsday scenario. At noon on July 20th, Typhoon Wifa reached the waters off the Pearl River estuary, about 50 kilometers southeast of Zhuhai. Wifa quickly intensified from a tropical storm to a severe tropical storm, with winds reaching up to level 14. Several coastal cities in Guangdong entered an unprecedented wartime state. Major roads such as the Xinghai Bridge and Hegang Highway were closed, and Hengqin Port suspended operations. Meteorological departments reported that strong winds and heavy rains battered Guangdong's coastal areas for 3 straight days, severely affecting the lives and property of residents. Authorities in Guangdong implemented a 5 shuts down policy, suspending schools, work, production, transportation, and business operations. In Zhuhai, a white sedan's bumper was blown off by the intense winds. Online commenters joked, "The mask has fallen off. That's one creative bumper." Others sought help asking, "What brand is this car? I need to avoid it." Some also warned, "Be careful when buying a car. If the quality is poor, even the wind can blow it away." The wind is so strong in Zhuhai. Look at this guy. He's trying to ride his bike but can't even move. My car is here too. It got knocked over by the wind. Some areas in the high-tech zone saw trees toppled and roads flooded. Locals shared videos from their balconies showing iron roofs being ripped off by the winds. In the comments section, one viewer remarked, "The windows are shaking." As the typhoon approached, the Hong Kong-Zhuhai-Macau bridge experienced wind speeds of 9 to 12 on the Beaufort scale. Drivers shared live streams on social media describing how difficult it was to see the road, with one driver saying, "Even with the wipers on full, I can't see the road. The guardrails are bent from the wind." On July 20th, Zhuhai Airport canceled 80% of its flights, leaving passengers stranded in the terminal, sitting on the floor. Ahead of the storm, people rushed to supermarkets to stock up. A supermarket employee in Doumen district said, "Bottled water and instant noodles sold out in 3 hours. Even flashlights ran out." Some delivery drivers continued working in the storm. Videos of riders pushing carts in the rain became popular on social media. One viewer commented, "Life is so tough for the people." Meteorologists explained that this typhoon, combined with a spring tide, led to a triple disaster of storm surges. Coastal water levels in Zhuhai rose 1.5 meters higher than normal, flooding low-lying areas. The Zhuhai Highway port on the Hong Kong-Zhuhai-Macau bridge suspended outbound customs services starting at 2:30 a.m. on July 20th. The main bridge was temporarily closed at 3:30 a.m. with no set time for reopening. At around 10 a.m. on July 20th, Shenzhen issued an alert. The typhoon has strengthened and moved north, getting closer to Shenzhen's western areas. The local meteorological station issued an orange rainstorm warning, and the city entered full storm defense mode. Wow, did you see that? A huge tree got blown over. As Typhoon Wifa approached, winds reached level 14 at Shenzhen's Da Peng Peninsula Observatory. Videos showed streetlights being knocked over by the storm. In some parts of Shenzhen, the winds kept getting stronger and started to knock down trees. Viewers reacted with shock, saying the power of Wifa was overwhelming, with cars crushed by fallen trees and streets left in disarray. Shenzhen Metro announced that, starting at 11 a.m. on July 20th, service on several metro lines, including the first line at Airport East Station and the 11th line between Bitou and Airport stations, would be suspended due to the storm. The storm also became a trending topic on social media. One user humorously edited the typhoon's path map to resemble a lost cockroach moving erratically. The caption read, "Wifa, did you get lost after your morning tea?" The China Meteorological Administration raised the emergency response to level 3 for major weather disasters, including heavy rain and the typhoon. Key transportation routes were affected. Guangzhou Railway Group suspended multiple train services, including the Guangzhou-Zhuhai and Shenzhen-Zhangjiang lines. Ferry services across the Qiong Strait were also halted, and traffic control measures were enforced on the Hong Kong-Zhuhai-Macau bridge. When the news broke that Haikou Port would suspend operations, people flooded social media with questions about Qiongzhou Strait, shipping services, and plans for vegetable transport. At 11 a.m. on July 20th, the center of Typhoon Wifa reached the sea, about 130 kilometers south at Dongguan. After making landfall, the storm weakened to a strong tropical storm. At 2 p.m., Dongguan's meteorological station issued a warning of heavy rainfall over the next 6 hours, with parks and tourist attractions, including Danling Mountain Forest Park and the Opium War Museum, closing due to the storm. Due to the impact of Typhoon Wifa, Dongguan Railway Station reported widespread cancellations, with 94 trains suspended. Public bus routes were also halted on July 20th, and services will resume based on weather and road conditions. The sudden storm was especially hard for a self-service hotpot restaurant owner who said, "Today will be another day of losing rent and wages."
This is Dalang in Dongguan, Guangdong, with winds reaching level 14 from Wipa. It's very windy and rainy. Today, none of us in the restaurant business are setting up tents. The wind is too strong. We can't handle it.
Typhoon Wifa made landfall on the coastal areas of Taishan at around 5:50 p.m. on July 20th, with maximum winds near its center reaching level 12, about 33 meters per second. On that day, all 21 bus routes and 64 road passenger lines in Taishan were suspended, and 5 high-risk areas implemented traffic control measures. Taishan and its surrounding areas are heavily reliant on fishing and small-scale agriculture for their economy. Typhoon Wifa devastated the region, destroying tens of thousands of shrimp farm shelters and causing direct losses to the fishing and farming industries, amounting to billions of yuan. These alarming figures reflect the struggles of families who depend on agriculture for their livelihoods. Their incomes was wiped out by the storm, leaving them in an unpredictable and difficult situation. Worse still, these losses are not easily covered by insurance or government support, leaving many farmers to shoulder the heavy financial and emotional burdens on their own. The aftermath of the disaster also exposed gaps in local emergency response systems. Some farmers did not receive clear warnings before the storm, and there were no evacuation or reinforcement instructions. The so-called last-mile breakdown showed up not only in delayed communication, but also in resource allocation, coordination of rescue efforts, and the failure of grassroots organizations. Due to the typhoon, everyone needs to leave immediately. Please evacuate quickly. Run, run, the storm is coming. Lightning is here. I heard this typhoon is going to be really strong, so everyone is packing up, carrying all sorts of bags and suitcases. Some of the workers even brought their pots and pans ready to leave. They took whatever they could carry. Whatever they couldn't take will probably be blown away by the typhoon when they come back. The wind started picking up early this morning. It's so strong that even the metal roofs are shaking. No one dares to bring too much. 2 typhoons in 1 month, and just trying to work has turned us into refugees. Making a little money is really hard. As of 7 a.m. on July 20th, over 440,000 people have been relocated in Guangdong, including 12,000 by the sea and 428,000 by land. Economically, the impact of Wifa has been direct and devastating, with the damage far surpassing expectations. Reports suggest that this storm's wind strength may surpass that of Typhoon Mangkhut in 2018, the storm that shook residents of the Pearl River Delta. That year, Mangkhut uprooted trees and rattled windows. If Wifa intensifies further, the scenes could be even worse. The impact of Wifa wasn't limited to the southeast coast. Influenced by the southwest monsoon, the typhoon moved inland as a strong tropical storm, reaching Yunnan. At 9:30 p.m. on July 19th, Kunming was engulfed by a heavy downpour. The outer circulation of Typhoon Wifa triggered a sudden storm, with torrential rain and lightning sweeping across the sky. The city quickly went into flood watch mode, as metro services were suspended and traffic came to a standstill. By early morning on July 20th, the Yilu Street Tunnel in Kunming's Gaomiao village was severely flooded, with dozens of cars submerged. The water had risen up to the doors of the car, creating a dangerous and urgent situation. A car owner, Mr. Lu, said, "I usually park here. After the first and second rains, we would wake up at 2 or 3 a.m. to move our cars. Cars have been flooded here before. It started raining again at 4 a.m. on the 20th, and I was planning to move the car. I thought it wouldn't flood this time, so I didn't go. I didn't expect it to happen to me." A resident in Ruding City in Kunming posted a video saying, "Oh my gosh, look at this rain. It's pouring like the heavens are dumping water." Another person posted on social media, "It started raining heavily around 8 p.m. on July 19th in downtown Kunming. There was constant lightning, but no thunder. 10 minutes later, the rain was so intense, it was scary." In a follow-up comment someone shared, "This morning at breakfast, the noodle shop owner said an elderly person was blown into the river. The river's railing is low here, and the elderly person's body was light. They haven't found him yet."
My husband finished work at 9 p.m. and said he was going to take me to the Torch Festival. We were excited to ride out on our little motorcycle, but we ended up facing the worst wind and rain. Even a 200-pound person could have been blown away.
Typhoon Wifa has not only brought immediate disaster, but also raised deep concerns about climate change, urban resilience, and emergency response systems. As Typhoon Wifa approached, some early rice crops in Yangshi County, Guangdong, were ready for harvest. The storm hit just as they were at a critical stage, causing significant damage to the rice production. This event highlights the vulnerability of early rice crops, which rely heavily on precise weather windows, and expose the flaws in agricultural disaster prevention systems in the face of extreme weather, such as inadequate drainage systems, imprecise weather warnings, and weak emergency reserves. Typhoon Wifa adds to the growing crisis in southern China, which has already suffered from intense heat and heavy rainfall. In recent weeks, extreme weather has swept across the region, with heat waves and torrential rain creating a sweltering, humid environment. Now, Wifa is not only bringing stronger winds and rain, but also increasing the risk of geological disasters, particularly in the already fragile southwestern mountains. Landslides, mudslides, and collapses are a constant threat, and local residents are left living in conditions of extreme distress.